My stepsister, 18F, is angry that I, 18 male, went to my maternal grandparents for the summer and she wasn't included. My stepsister thinks that by visiting my own grandparents this summer, I have essentially committed the ultimate betrayal against our family. My dad and stepmom, both in their 40s, met each other a year after my mom died and my stepsister's dad passed away. They were in a support group for grieving spouses and connected over the fact that they had kids the same age and had lost their spouses at the same time. My stepsister and I were 3. About 2 years after they started dating, which was maybe 5 months after they first met, my dad and stepmom got married. We had a good family, but there were some issues. My stepsister's paternal side of the family were all toxic people. Drugs, alcohol, prison, and other issues meant there wasn't much contact. They also seemed pretty disinterested the one time I remember there being contact, and she felt the same way. My stepmom's family is small and hardly anyone speaks to each other. My dad's side are okay. My mom's side, however, were big and close, and they really wanted regular contact with me. But my parents made a rule that they had to include my stepsister. So instead, I saw them 3 times a year when they would visit for short intervals, and we would talk on the phone otherwise. They were nice to my stepsister while visiting, but they didn't adopt her as a grandkid. My relationship with them didn't get closer until my mid-teens, and then I was so appreciative to have them in my life. My stepsister was always kind of hurt and felt betrayed a little that I grew closer to people who didn't treat her the same way they treated me.
We talked about it so many times, and I even talked to our parents about it. My dad told me that was just how things were, and my true character would show eventually when it came to my sister and grandparents. Back when we were 10, our parents went through IVF to have another kid. My stepmom ended up pregnant with our sister, but she lost her midway through the pregnancy. They tried again, and the same thing happened with our brother. There was a period of time after that happened where my stepsister got super clingy with me because we realized we were never going to have other siblings. It got to be a little too much some of the time, and nobody would help me deal with that. She eventually let up, so things went back to normal, but the loss of our siblings changed our family, and I think looking back, it added some unhealthy dynamics. So that leads to now. In April, my maternal grandparents and I planned for me to live with them this summer so I could spend more time with them and the rest of the family and get to know my mom through them more, since I was too young to remember her and only had my dad's stories and memories. I told my family about it, and my stepsister was quiet until the day I flew out. Then she pounced on me, demanding to know how I could do that to her and how we were supposed to demand equal treatment for each other. We've talked more since, and each time she has expressed her anger at me. She told me I was supposed to cut out toxic people who would divide us, or people who could only love blood family.
She told me if I really loved her, I would never stay with people who don't want her. I talked to my dad and stepmom. My stepmom shut down since her losses, so she wasn't any help. My dad brought up my character showing again, and I know he means that he feels like I did the wrong thing. So I talked to my stepsister and tried to reassure her that I love her. But she told me we're meant to be a package deal, and I find it so unhealthy. She brought up the idea that we are the only sibling the other has, and how we are meant to be each other's #1 defender, and how she would never do this to me, even though I knew she'd secretly visited her paternal grandmother 4 times that month. It reminded me of the clingy version of her that came out after we lost our siblings. I am being so for real when I say I have no idea how to work on the relationship with my sister or my parents. I feel like my choices pushed me out unless I lash out and disown my maternal side for not including my maternal instinct, for not including my sister when I perfectly understand why they don't.